Namaste, Jai Kali, Jai Mahadev, Jai Bharat. I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. Remember, if you're doing fine, you can take better care of your loved ones. So today I'm going to talk about paranoid personality disorder. Now there are various kinds of personality disorders, and paranoid personality disorder is one of them. So basically, paranoid personality disorder circles around, paranoia, distrust, and suspicion. So this is where this disorder circles around. Now these signs generally show up. I mean, if a person is suffering from paranoid personality disorder, it does show up in the adulthood, but a lot of things does show up. I mean, it could be the markers, or it could possibly be the indicators that the person is suffering from paranoid personality disorder. So henceforth I'm going to shorten it and use PPD, paranoid personality disorder, so it gets easier for me. So yes, so now what are the signs that you can look out for in a person to assess whether the person is suffering from PPD? So first is that the person suffering from PPD would be scared of being exploited, harmed, or deceived by someone or the other. So they have this innate suspicion, and they suspect that everyone is trying to harm them, either trying to harm them or exploit them or deceive them. The second sign is that these people suffering from PPD are so preoccupied with unjustified doubts about the loyalty and trustworthiness of friends or associates, or be it even the partners. So they just doubt everyone, whether it be they doubt the loyalty and trustworthiness, be it of their partner, be it of their friends, and everyone. So they don't trust, and they don't simply trust on anything or anyone. And these people suffering from PPD also don't make anyone their confidant. They really don't reveal their secrets or essential information about them with anyone, because they are again scared that it might be misused by the other party, because they have so much of insecurities and they are really scared and paranoid with the entire world. Apart from that, these people suffering from PPD also show a very interesting symptom and sign, is that they interpret, even if someone is giving a speech, or if someone is not connected to them and absolutely far away from them, if they are speaking about something, they translate and pick up the meaning as per their understanding. And these persons suffering from paranoid personality disorder assume that person who is giving the speech is actually talking about them. So they are just suspicious about everything, and they think that the entire world is conspiring against them. So that is how these people suffering from PPD react. They try to read hidden messages, and they try to make sense out of it, that okay, this is the hidden message. They see hidden message in everything. So it's really funny, but that is the level of paranoia that they are living with, 24/7. So it's quite a sad thing, but that's how it is. And apart from that, if you see these people suffering from PPD, they do have that grudge. They never overcome their grudge. Sometimes if something bad happens to me, I just forgive, forget, and move on. I don't keep a grudge. But these people have grudge. They make a list, and they have a grudge that, okay, this person has done this person has done this. They never give up, they never forget, they never move on. So that is one of the things to look out for if you have to assess PPD. And apart from that, if you see anyone who even talks about them, these people are so insecure. People suffering from PPD, they immediately become defensive. They think that if someone is talking about them, that means they are talking ill about them, and they are trying to troll them or harass them or abuse them. So they become so defensive that they immediately attack them in return, though that person might be talking good about them. So without hearing anything, they just jump to conclusion. They are so impulsive, they just jump to conclusion in their own defense. So I mean, that is how these people are, people suffering from PPD. And apart from that, if you see that they are too much into counterattacks, if someone says something, it's fine, they can say, and I mean, like, people have their own opinion about certain things, but these go to such an extent that they just take it too personally, and they just start attacking in a more crazy manner. So these are some of the things and symptoms to look out for in a person suffering from paranoid personality disorder. Now, if you see some of the common features, I mean, like, to look out for is that these people suffering from PPD, though they have very less evidence and information, they just jump to conclusion that someone is plotting against them. So they just don't trust anyone around them. They just think that everyone is doing something ill or planning something ill about them. So the world is after them. That is how they think. They feel that they are so exclusive and they are so important that the entire world is plotting against them. So that is one of the features. The second feature that you can see in a person suffering from PPD is that they often feel that they are injured deeply, and once they are injured, they think that they cannot overcome. So I mean, before that also in the science section I told you that they don't quickly forgive. So these people are also they think that if they are hurt, it is irreversible. They just don't overcome. They're just stuck over there. They're very sensitive. These people are overly sensitive, and if anything that is said to them, and if someone does not do, they immediately start doubting their trustworthiness and loyalty. So if you say something to a person suffering from PPD, you have to do that thing in that way, because if that thing is not done in that way, they might start they might start doubting your trustworthiness and loyalty. And apart from that, people suffering from PPD are very hyper vigilant for potential threats. And if you see, one of the most important features are that these people are very closeted. They just don't open up. They think that the entire world is sitting at their door to exploit them, and that is the reason they just don't open up. It is just inside of them, and they want to keep everything good and bad inside of them, and they don't want others to know things about them, so that there is a chance that they might misuse it against the person suffering from PPD. People suffering from PPD often take compliments in a wrong way. They misinterpret compliments, and they often assume that these are not compliments, but these are insults and criticism. So that is also absolutely a very unique thing, that if you say good things to them also, they'll interpret it in a wrong way. They'll say that this is wrong and the person is trying to insult me or criticize me. And also, because of so much of paranoia and insecurity, these people suffering from PPD, they try and act overly self-sufficient, and so that they can have a sense of strong autonomy over their own life, and as a result of which they feel very much in control of their life, and they really don't want to rely on others, because again, they think that others might do something wrong to them. This is how they think. I know it's quite strange, but I think it must be really painful for people suffering from PPD. And also, if you see these people suffering from PPD, they even doubt their intimate partners. I mean, like, whatever relationships they have, they even doubt their behavior, intentions, mostly intentions. So paranoid personality people even doubt the intentions of their spouse as to why they got married and why are they with them. So there are these layers of just insecurity and paranoia in people suffering from PPD, and I'm sure it must be a painful thing to live by. So and if you see this PPD thing also puts these people, I mean those who are suffering from PPD, they get into quite a lot of troubles, and they have a very weird way of defense. Now let me quickly tell you what are the different ways of defense that they they put up in order to protect themselves or feel protected or feel safe. The first one is that they just jump into legal litigations. So these people suffering from PPD, they just go to any extent, even if it is a small thing that happens, they just go into the legal route. They just want to they get involved into legal disputes very quickly, because they are so insecure. They just don't want to talk about it, they just want to get into some legal thing. So, and apart from that, these people suffering from PPD are actually big time into projecting their own fears. So I mean, like, you can say that the insecurities that they are having inside is often what they project. I mean, like, as a form of their fear in the outside world. I mean, for example, if someone is having some disability, that person would be projecting a tendency that someone might go so personal and attack their disability. So it's like a very weird kind of a defense mechanism which is not needed in the first place. And these persons are paranoid. I mean, these persons are suffering. It's quite a suffering that they go through. Apart from that, people suffering from PPD also are into grandiose fantasies, and maybe this is a kind of a defense mechanism which gives them a sense of power and rank and class. So they, even if they get into debt or even they go bankrupt, they want to put up that grandioseness around them and be a part of it, so that people think that, oh, that this person is important, rich and powerful. So they want to look in a specific way so that people don't come close to them, or their insecurities are in check and things are under their control. And apart from that, these people, I mean, suffering from PPD are very susceptible to be a part of cult also. So their insecurities makes them a good cult member. So most of them, these cult members are suffering from paranoid personality disorder. And I mean, this conspiracy theory that is not less than a cult. So I mean, like, all like-minded people with the same amount of or the same level of insecurities and fears, they just come together and then they form a cult. So yes, I mean, like, people suffering from PPD are quite prone to being cult members as well. And also, if you see any kind of small period of stress also, if it happens, or if they go through, people suffering from PPD, they react in a psychotic way, and these outbursts of psychotic outbursts come in episodes. So they keep reacting. It's not just that once they react and then it reaches a plateau and that's it. No, they keep on reacting in short periods and short episodes. So they have these psychotic, I mean, you can say transient psychotic episodes in phases. So they have that when they are exposed, or when they are in stress, or they are surrounded by stress. And also, if you see, their capacity of having a meaningful emotional involvement is very low. So they already doubt everything around them. So the chances of having an emotional involvement is absolutely low, and because of that, they go into isolation. So I mean, like, and they think being isolated is like a defense mechanism, a wall, that will protect them. So these are some of those things that they do in defense, these people suffering from paranoid personality disorder. Now, if you see that to understand the exact reason or the cause of this paranoid personality disorder, so I mean, like, it's not yet proven. I mean, like, what could be the actual cause of paranoid personality disorder, but there are some links with schizophrenia. So I mean, like, and also to an extent, some researchers suggest that PPD could be a part of schizophrenic spectrum, and they and it also includes other disorders like schizoid and schizotypal PD. So yes, it is a part, or it has some links to schizophrenia. So yes, that is there. And apart from that, if you see, some studies even suggest that these things are hereditary. In family also, if someone else had in the family. So the family, it is inheritable. Some people inherit these things as well. And yes, these things are mostly with people also. You can see these PPD issues with people suffering from schizophrenia and delusional disorder. So schizophrenia and delusional disorder, these two problems, or these two diseases or disorders, the people, those who have these two disorders, also have paranoid personality disorder. So it goes hand in hand. And if you see, these signs appear in mostly around childhood and adolescence. So PPD often appears around childhood and adolescence, and in some cases it appears in the adulthood. And also you can assess by the kind of relationship these people, these patients with PPD, they had with their peer around, the peer relationship that they had. Based on that, you can process, or you can evaluate how much deeper they are into PPD, or it's been how long that they are into PPD, or were they at all into PPD during the childhood and adolescence. And people with PPD are very prone to have OCDs also. So OCDs and PPD are also a combination. And apart from that, people suffering from PPD also have agoraphobia, and they are also at a risk of MDD. And apart from that, if you see, the most common ones, the common disorders, personality disorders that can be seen in combination with paranoid personality disorder is schizotypal disorder along with PPD, schizoid disorder with PPD, then narcissistic personality disorder with PPD, then avoidant with PPD, and then borderline with PPD. So there are quite a lot of combinations available. It is there standalone also, but it's seen in combinations as well. And the root cause is quite unknown. It's uncertain. Now let us understand there are other subtypes also of paranoid personality disorder. So PPD, I talked about the defenses and how you can assess whether the person is having PPD and the signs, but you need to understand that in PPD also there are subtypes of PPD. So the subtype of PPD are obdurate PPD, obdurate paranoid. Now that is very self-assertive, stubborn, and self-righteous. So that is one subtype of PPD. The other subtype is fanatic paranoid, and in that they have this grandiose delusion and are irrational with extravagant claims and fantasies, and also they are very pretentious, arrogant towards the others. So fanatic paranoid is also one of the subtypes of paranoid personality disorder, PPD. Apart from that, the other subtype is querulous paranoid, and that is very contentious, argumentative, resentful, sullen kind of things that you can notice in a person. Apart from that, the other subtype is insular paranoid, that is very reclusive, hypervigilant, and defensive. And the last subtype is malignant paranoid, where it is like very belligerent and intimidating, callous, tyrannical. So PPD can be seen in combinations, and there are subtypes in PPD also. So PPD is quite, I mean, deep. So if you see now how to what are the treatment sides, I mean, what and how can treatment be given or done for PPD. So you need to understand that because of over suspiciousness and low level of trust, these people suffering from PPD rarely seek treatment. So I mean, they're just all by themselves isolated. They don't seek out for help. They rarely seek out for help. So that is one of the problems. I mean, they don't reach out for help, or they don't look for help. They are in delusion that they are all right. But if you see, psychotherapy has been seen very effective to combat or to manage PPD, and only when the patient is willing to engage. So only if the patient is conscious and ready to engage and seek help, in those cases psychotherapy has been proven quite helpful to manage. Now medications have been tried, and medication options are antidepressant, antipsychotics, and anti-anxiety. But let me tell you, as per, I mean, like, everyone's body is different, their chemistry is different, everything is different. So medicines have different effects. Now out of these three variety of medication and medicinal approach, antipsychotics have proven to be useful to treat PPD. But also, if you see, the antipsychotics were not helpful for a longer period of time, but only for a short period of time. So I mean, like, apart from antipsychotic medication, the best possible thing is psychotherapy, and only if the patient is conscious. And again, the three kinds of medical treatment, I mean, that I talked about, the usage of antidepressant, the usage of antipsychotics, and anti-anxiety. So these work in different ways in different people. So I mean, like, psychiatrists have not come to a conclusion that these three work in a specific way. I mean, everyone's body responds in a different way. So I mean, like, but to an extent, for shorter period of time, antipsychotics have been helpful in treating and managing. And apart from antipsychotics, psychotherapy had been helpful. And yes, so this was all about paranoid personality disorder. I hope you all must have learned something new and interesting. And if you think you have such signs, or if you think that your loved ones is having such signs, please help them reach out for help, or help them get help, medical help, either from a counselor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. And if you have any such experience, if you know anything, or if you want to say anything about paranoid personality disorder, you can comment below. And yes, please be happy and give priority to your mental health. If this is fine, everything is going to be fine, and if you are fine, the society is going to be fine, and it's going to evolve and be, everyone is going to be happy and evolved around you. So yes, please take care of yourself, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and please take care of yourself and be happy. Bye.